Hello everyone, and today we're back into another top 5, and today we're going to talk about the top 5 Loomians that are usually used wrong. So these are the 5 Loomians that I usually see people use wrong the most. And I'm not just saying like a bad set, just Loomians that don't often perform up to their potential. So let's head right onto this top 5. So number 5 on this list is going to be interesting to talk about because it's actually going to be Barbadger. And I am talking specifically Boots Barbadger in this case. Because I do have something I want to talk about. Barbadger with Boots, I don't see as a massive threat. At least compared to other Boots Loomians. Because the thing that makes Barbadger so scary is that when the opposing Loomian has a super effective move, you get a +1 melee attack. Which that's good. If you get that with specialty boots, your Barbadger could be scary. But if you don't get the +1 boost, you have Brawn boost as an option to get the +2. And yeah, I do understand that Barbadger does have only 82 speed, when like other melee attackers have like 85 or higher. But I think if you want to use boots on a melee attacker, I would rather use Helvantic. I think Helvantic has better coverage and just hits harder regardless. Barbadger kind of just needs that Brawn boost potential. If you have that Brawn boost on Barbadger, you could sweep a lot of Loomians. And I'm not saying that Barbadger is used wrong if you use boots. I just don't see it as effective as with just a Brawler Essence or Ice Essence. So that's why it's even on the list at all. It's not necessarily used wrong, but it's just something I want to talk about because Barbadger with boots is definitely interesting. Number 4 into this list is actually going to be Terraclaw. A lot of people call Terraclaw bad, but if you watch any video on my channel, this thing always balls out. And every time I see other people use Terraclaw, they always use a certain move which I don't necessarily agree on. Eerie Stare is the name of the move. And let's just say that I am not a big fan of Eerie Stare. It lowers the melee defense and speed by -1. But there's only one Loomian you're ever going to probably click that move against. Obsidian. Any other Loomian, I do not see you clicking that move at all. Pestilence is just way better. Or having Cyclone Slam to hit fire types is just better. Because having the extra coverage options for Terraclaw to hit Loomian super effectively, I find is a better option than lowering their melee defense. Because Terraclaw only has 43 speed. It's way too slow. A -1 speed, you're still not going to outspeed them. Unless you have like Nimble or something, which even then, you're dropping range defense. So, I recommendedly drop Eerie Stare. It's not worth it on your Terraclaw, and that is probably a big reason why everyone really struggles with it. So yeah, Terraclaw number 4 on the list, and in my opinion, it's probably a Loomian that is used wrong the most because of Eerie Stare. Number 3 onto the list is actually going to be the Ludrex. And I do not understand this Loomian. Why does everyone use this Loomian wrong? I don't understand. Its role is simple. You either bring it in as a lead and pivot out, or you bring it in with slow pivot, or as a revenge killer. That's how you use the Ludrex. Yet, for some strange reason, I see people swapping into a Ludrex to counter something, even though the Ludrex has no defenses on neither side, so it just goes down to half health with a not very effective move. Well, rip your Ludrex, it's already down to half health, pretty much putting it in priority range for any priority move to take it out. And yeah, I often see that pretty often. And I also see a lot of Ludrexes use super effective moves when the opposing Loomian is on full health. In a meta with a lot of tanking Loomians, the Ludrex doesn't one-shot most of the meta. So, you need to get chip on the opposing Loomians first. You gotta get barbed. You gotta get poison barbed. You gotta get poison. Don't just lead with the Ludrex and then just click Unga Bunga Green Arrow, because most of the time it's not gonna one-shot the opposing Loomian. It does hit hard, but a lot of people use it wrong because it's very frail, and that's why it's number 3 on the list, because everyone I see use it, uses it wrong. Number 2 onto the list is actually going to be Harvestect. And it makes sense why Harvestect is on the list. It's probably one of the hardest Loomians in the game to use, just because of Life Force taking out your HP. But even then, I think I see a lot of people struggle using this too. I even struggle using this. This Loomian is very hard to use because if your HP gets below 10, you flail. And plus, if you're not running Health Amulet, you're not getting HP back unless you're clicking Parasitize. And since you're losing HP, and since Harvestect has a slow speed stat, it's pretty hard to get your HP back most of the time. Thankfully, this thing is very bulky, and it does have Driving Force to force other Loomians out. So, what I found to be the best with Harvestect is when barbs are on the field, and you keep clicking Driving Force, while clicking Parasitize to get HP back occasionally. That's how I've used Harvestect the most successfully. A lot of other people I notice either has Bulk Up, which kind of doesn't make the most sense on Harvestect because, it loses HP. And I also see a lot of people run, like, Shade Pearl or something. Like, I see a lot of people use Harvestect wrong. And while it does make sense, it definitely is used wrong most of the time. And that's why Harvestect is number 2 on the list. But it doesn't even compare to number 1. The number 1 Loomian on this list is Imperior. I don't think there's any other Loomian that deserves to be number 1 on this list other than Imperior. The Resentful ability is so good. But the problem is, everyone, including myself, uses Imperior wrong. It has pivot, it has great coverage, and that Resentful ability is very good for a super effective swap-in. But a lot of people uses their Imperior on a Loomian that doesn't really KO their team. Like, a lot of people should use their Imperior on a Loomian that could severely affect your team. Like, alright, let me give you an example here. If there's another team with Teclipse, and you have Terraclawed Stratosaur on your team, would you sack your Imperior to get rid of that Teclipse, even though you have a Terraclaw and a Stratosaur on your team to defeat him? No. Here's another example. If you have a Zulong, and you have a Tyrex on your team, would you sack your Imperior to get rid of that Zulong? No. Because you have a Tyrex to swap into it. And while it could be good to switch up, if they make the right play once, your Imperior is dead. So, a lot of people sack their Imperiors on a Loomian that is not the most threatening on their team, and then they lose a vital piece for later in the match. Imperior is definitely number 1. It's a very awesome Loomian that is often used wrong, so it definitely deserves to be number 1. So, and here it is, Imperior, the Loomian that is used wrong the most. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If there are other Loomians that I did not mention on the list that is used wrong, tell me in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see y'all all later. Bye-bye!